Is it fair to say that people who witnessed abuse are more likely to get into an abusive relationship?
Yes, and on both directions, either as the abuser or as the abused.
Sure.
Generational abuse is really troubling, and you would want to think that if you were someone who, if someone saw abuse go on in their family, they'd want to be like, nope, absolutely not going to do it, not going to happen with us. But that's not quite the way that it works. These are learned behaviors. Right. This is accumulated trauma. Imagine a child growing up in a home where they witness one parent abusing the other. This kid learns that violence is a way to resolve conflict or exert control within a relationship, or perversely even how you're supposed to show love to each other. They can internalize that behavior as normal, and then later in life, that person might unconsciously replicate this pattern, either becoming an abuser themselves or finding themselves in abusive relationships. They may not even realize that they've repeated the cycle that they witnessed as a child.
Even though they might be able to say, like, that was an abusive relationship and I don't want any part of it, there's something that ingrains in them that's what a relationship is supposed to look like. And so even though you know better, you can't necessarily act better.
Exactly right. Now, these are very broad strokes. Right. This doesn't happen to everybody, obviously, but it happens often enough that we've identified it as, a pattern of generational abuse and generational violence.
Yeah.
One of the ways to get out of these subconscious loops or traps is to become conscious of it and then act purposefully and intentionally to interrupt those automatic loops.
Right.
That's what we see Lily state she's going to do at the very end of the movie.
Stops right here, Bubba, with you and me. It ends with us.
I mean, that is a very, very powerful statement. And one can only hope that she's able to follow through on that.
Yeah, how do you follow through on that? I mean, is this something you have to go through therapy to be able to get over? I mean, you have to be able to recognize those things and make the change in real time. I even notice with my wife or with anybody who's a friend, we'll get flustered. My wife and I will get flustered, and we will revert to who we were as children. We'll revert to the kind of the fighting or the thing that we're the most, practiced in or that is ingrained in us. And we, sort of turn off our logical brain and kind of revert to who we were as kids. Like, how do you get over that? How do you become someone who's not going to be like addicted in a way to the abuse or the abusing?
It's intentionality. It is bringing it into the consciousness and making the conscious choices to do different. And yes, therapy can be incredibly helpful for this. With the right therapist, with somebody who you connect with, who you can be vulnerable with, and who will take the responsibility very seriously to be that person to point out. Do you have to do it in therapy?